Hello everyone, I am Julian Morris with the Channel 5 News. In the headlines, banks within the ECCU defer loan payments to support clients impacted by the coronavirus pandemic. National epidemiologist Dr. Shalodin Ahmed says strategies to contain COVID-19 are paying off, but protocols must be maintained. And a slow recovery from COVID-19 predicted for the tourism sector. The details coming up.
Away $30,000 in cash,
oh, yeah.
2 bags of money plus a grand every Friday.
We're flowing better every day, and now we're making Fridays great. That's 3 ways that you can play. So listen up.
Top up.
$10 or more.
Sign up.
Just switch to Flow.
Get a plan.
1 gig or more. If you wanna win cash galore.
We flow.
Win a bag of money.
Cash out.
Get a bag of money. What you gonna do with a bag of money? Yeah. From Flow.
So top up, get a plan, or switch now to win. It only gets better with Flow.
Flow terms and conditions apply.
Flow helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 700 local anywhere calls and texts, with the always-on prepaid plan, all for $29. Keep your number when you switch to Dominica's most reliable LTE network. Buy wherever you top up. Switch to Flow. It only gets better.
When you feel a sneeze or a cough coming, covering your mouth prevents the spread of germs. You probably knew that. But the way you cover up also matters, and that means breaking a habit you've held near and dear all your life. Cover your nose and mouth with your flexed elbow or a tissue, not your hands. Discard the used tissue immediately. Then wash your hands. Help stop the spread of germs. Remember, your health is your responsibility.
A message by the Health Promotion Unit of the Ministry of Health, Wellness and New Health Investment, Dominica.
A new in-home experience is here. All your services bundled into one simple plan. Faster, more reliable Wi-Fi so that you can binge, play, and stream uninterrupted. Unlimited Flow local landline minutes mean you can talk and talk and talk. Plus the best in TV entertainment with over 120 channels and 29 in HD, all for $160 a month with the new all-in bundle. With Flow, it only gets better.
Avec Flow, gagnez l'argent, on partit l'argent avec Flow. Gagnez l'argent, on gros sac l'argent. C'est juste ça pour gagner un gros sac l'argent avec Flow. And mettez on top up, sign up, quittez yo, et venez joindre Flow. It only gets better with Flow.
Flow terms and conditions apply.
First up in the news, financial institutions across the region have adopted a coordinated response to COVID-19 pandemic as regards its impact on their clients. Ilma Irish is CEO of the NCCU and President of the Association of Banks and Financial Institutions. The plan is to help address the economic and social consequences of the coronavirus pandemic. The support program is supported by all member financial institutions in the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union.
I would like to share with you the distinction between a deferment and a waiver. A deferment is simply deferring the date for payment, allowing the individual client to have more cash flow, whereas a waiver is indicating that you are not expected to pay. In this particular instance, we are deferring payments. With respect to the National Bank, a moratorium on principal and interest repayment for all interested loan customers for a period of 6 months. Business customers are encouraged to talk to the bank regarding cash flow support or other financial needs. The waiver of late fees on all loans and late and over limit fees on credit cards for up to 6 months commencing April 1st. With respect to the Republic Bank, moratorium on all loans, including mortgages and help loans for up to 6 months, will be automatically made available upon request. There will be debt restructuring, temporary increase in overdrafts and credit cards. Late fees on loan payments will be waived. No penalty on withdrawals of certificate of deposits. With respect to CIBC First Caribbean, special assistance on a case-by-case basis to include deferred payments, special loan financing. Clients experiencing challenges are required to reach out to the bank. Royal Bank specific 3 months deferral on credit facilities from March 17, 2020 to June 30th, 2020. Businesses and corporate clients are eligible for relief programs following individual assessment. In terms of the National Cooperative Credit Union, it was or is the policy that a member can be allowed on a case-by-case basis up to 12 months deferment. But specific to COVID, this time of the year, members are allowed up to a maximum of 3 months deferment on all loans.
The number of positive COVID-19 cases in Dominica remained at 16 on Wednesday. By Wednesday, 8 cases had been discharged. The other individuals are receiving care at the COVID isolation unit and are said to be clinically stable. Dr. Shaladin Ahmed explains the criteria for discharging COVID-19 patients.
Without any symptoms, especially fever, for 3 consecutive days for 72 hours, and 2 negative test results in 24 hours apart will determine that the case is ready to go home.
The 8 recovered cases are being followed up by primary healthcare professionals. Up to Wednesday, 367 tests had been completed.
In terms of per capita, this is much higher than any other Caribbean or CARICOM countries except Cayman Island. Of these 367 tests, 351 are negative. So far, a total of 152 contacts out of these 16 cases have been identified. And of these 152 contacts, 145 contacts have been cleared, meaning they were tested and test results, most of them were negative. Those who are positive, actually they were included in those 16 confirmed cases. Those are negative, they also completed their 14-day quarantine period as well. We have a total of 7 remaining to be tested out of those 152 contacts in order to complete our contact tracing list for these 16 cases.
Dr. Ahmed told a press briefing on Wednesday that it had been 8 days since the last positive case was confirmed. He says local efforts are paying off and encourage Dominicans to continue physical distancing, respiratory etiquette, and to stay home if they do not need to go out. The country is being commended for its management of the COVID-19 outbreak. According to PAHO and WHO country program specialist for Dominica, the country's daily statistics show it is doing well compared to other territories in the region. The Pan American Health Organization has vowed continued support to Dominica during its fight against COVID-19. Dominica had also received medical and personal protective equipment for frontline and healthcare workers. To date, lab support includes 1,000 swabs and 1,000 PCR kits. A further shipment of supplies to follow soon include gowns, aprons, gloves, masks, and shoe covers. Dominicans urged to play their part in reducing the stigma associated with COVID-19. Andrea Louis tells us more.
The International Organization for Migration, IOM, in collaboration with the United Nations International Children's Emergency Fund, UNICEF, the World Health Organization, WHO, and the International Federation for Red Cross recently released a document regarding the social stigma associated with COVID-19. Social stigma in the context of health is the negative association between a person or group of people who share certain characteristics and a specific disease. This document includes simple tips such as the use of language to positively affect mindsets during the pandemic. These tips include referring to those with COVID-19 as people who have COVID-19, people who are being treated for COVID-19, people who are recovering from COVID-19, or people who died after contracting COVID-19, instead of referring to such individuals as COVID-19 cases or victims. Another suggestion from the international bodies is using phrases such as people who may have COVID-19 and people who are presumptive for COVID-19, as opposed to terms such as COVID-19 suspects or suspected cases. Media practitioners and the wider public are being urged to refrain from talking about people transmitting COVID-19 or infecting others or spreading the virus, and instead talk about people acquiring or contracting COVID-19. The public is being urged to share accurate information about the disease, challenge myths and stereotypes, and to choose words carefully in an effort to reduce the social stigma associated with COVID-19. Andrea Louis, Channel 5 News.
You are watching Channel 5 News. We'll have more after this.
Avec flow, gagner l'argent, on partit l'argent avec flow. Gagner l'argent, on gros sac l'argent. C'est juste ça pour gagner un gros sac l'argent avec flow. Animé on top up, sign up, quittez yo, et venez joindre flow. It only gets better with flow.
Flow terms and conditions apply.
When you feel a sneeze or a cough coming, covering your mouth prevents the spread of germs. You probably knew that. But the way you cover up also matters, and that means breaking a habit you've held near and dear all your life. Cover your nose and mouth with your flexed elbow or a tissue, not your hands. Discard the used tissue immediately. Then wash your hands. Help stop the spread of germs. Remember, your health is your responsibility.
A message by the Health Promotion Unit of the Ministry of Health, Wellness and New Health Investment, Dominica.
Flow helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 700 local anywhere calls and texts, with the always-on prepaid plan, all for $29. Keep your number when you switch to Dominica's most reliable LTE network. Buy wherever you top up. Switch to Flow. It only gets better.
Si ou ni maladi HIV et bien maladi sexuelle, si ou pas protéger corps là ou ka ni sexe avec plusieurs monde, ça ka mette la vie ou en gros danger. Ou ka expose tout partenaire au poison et que ça qui ka vini avec maladie. Servi yo condom chaque fois ou ka ni sexe. Changer qui est important pour découvrir maladie à bonheur ou ça vivre en bonne santé même si ou ni maladie HIV. Pour responsabilité, protéger corps et puis les autres. Examiner corps. Aidez du bout si même maladie HIV et l'autre maladie sexuelle.
Away $40,000 in cash, 2 bags of money plus a grand every Friday.
We're flowing better every day, and now we're making parties great. That's 3 ways that you can play. So listen up.
Top up.
$10 or more.
Sign up.
Just switch to Flow.
Get a plan.
1 gig or more. If you wanna win cash galore.
We flow.
Win a bag of money.
Cash out.
Get a bag of money. What you gonna do with a bag of money? From Flow.
So top up, get a plan, or switch now to win. It only gets better with Flow.
Flow terms and conditions apply.
A new in-home experience is here. All your services bundled into one simple plan. Faster, more reliable Wi-Fi so that you can binge, play, and stream uninterrupted. Unlimited Flow local landline minutes mean you can talk and talk and talk. Plus the best in TV entertainment with over 120 channels and 29 in HD, all for $160 a month with the new all-in bundle. With Flow, it only gets better.
Thank you for staying with us. An extremely slow recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic for the local tourism sector. Andrea Louis tells us more.
That's the prediction from former president of the Dominica Hotel and Tourism Association and owner of Nature Island Dive, Simon Walsh. The pandemic has led to severe restriction in the international movement of people, which is key for any tourism industry. Walsh says due to the nature of the industry, it is difficult to pinpoint lessons which can be learned from the pandemic on the sector.
The reality for us in Dominica is that most of our tourism in the dive sector and hotels is internationally based. Some of it regionally, a lot of it regionally, but some of it from Europe and from the United States and Canada. So until that situation eases up and travel starts up again, there's really not that much we can do. So I'm not really sure what we can learn from this. Except to be lean, except to minimize your expenses.
The global economic impact from the pandemic will also lead to slow recovery of the tourism industry, even after travel bans are lifted.
We need to figure out how do we get back on our feet with the travel and tourism, and I think the first stage will be a regional ease up of, if it's happening regionally throughout the Caribbean and we can travel a little bit and support each other. The other challenge is going to be is that once the international bans are lifted and borders open up, people are not going to have a lot of money to be traveling and going into tourism. So it's going to be a slow recovery, much slower than Maria, where the rest of the world, the economy was doing quite well. So 2 years later after Maria, I can say we were back on our feet. I hope 2 years after this, we can say we're back on our feet again.
Walsh says if one was to be optimistic about the future of the tourism industry, it might be possible to welcome some foreigners to the country's shores by summer, but that depends on the pandemic's trend.
If I was to tell you my one fantasy, it would be that Dominica does a good job controlling its cases and we don't see fatalities here. And if Martinique and Guadeloupe can also get a handle on there. I know they have more cases and a more severe situation there, but if they can bring it under control quickly, maybe we could look at some July and August business coming from the French islands, and that would be a lifeline for the tourism industry if we just knew that we were going to get a month of income. Because after July, you go into August, it dies down, and then you have guaranteed September, October are zero income months.
Bus drivers are among small business owners being affected by COVID-19. Prior to the pandemic, filling their buses was not an issue, but all that has changed. Right now, it's one passenger per row. As a result, some bus drivers are staying off the road entirely. Others who continue to operate are asking whether the hassle is worth it. There are reports of some bus drivers increasing the bus fare even if that has not been authorized by the Transport Board. The DAIC's executive director says if there are increases in bus fares at all, they should be minimal as everyone is affected by the pandemic. She says organizing themselves into an association would be beneficial, particularly when facing situations such as that created by the impact of COVID-19.
I think that if the bus drivers come together as the Bus Drivers Association or an association, there is strength in numbers. And in order to take or make a decision, I really empathize with the bus drivers because daily I took a bus to come to town and I'm not able to take the bus to come to town. I'm working remotely now, and imagine my bus driver would have his financial obligations. Now he's unable to meet these obligations because they're not sufficient persons to go on the bus. So imagine leaving from Benz, coming to town where it would cost at least $100 a day to run the bus, and if you have 5 persons on the bus, you get to town. That's just for gas. That's just for running the bus. That's not for taking care of all the expenses, the time, the effort, and everything else. I think coming together as a bus driver association, then certain measures can be proposed as opposed to each individual driver deciding. I heard yesterday someone charged $30 from Portsmouth to Kulibistri, and I had to ask, was this a hire or was this just one person? But my personal approach, I have to get consultation on that, is to come together, have an organized way. Perhaps the fare maybe can raise a little bit, not significantly at all, because individually we cannot meet this additional expense. If persons are already, well, we all are challenged individually. So having to double the fee or even 1.5, this is, I think it's too much.
And the National Cooperative Credit Union, NCCU, is extending a hand to bus drivers struggling to make it during the current health crisis. CEO Ilma Irish says the NCCU is working to address the concerns of bus drivers who are currently servicing loans. Options are available to help ease their burdens brought on by COVID-19. Social or physical distancing, a key to fighting the spread of COVID-19, turns out to be a negative for bus drivers in that they must carry a limited number of passengers, which translates to reduced income.
We empathize with the bus chauffeurs. They find themselves in a very, very difficult situation. That is why we as financial institutions are here to assist. We advise them to contact us almost immediately, and we can make arrangements by deferring their payments. And so that releases them from some of the cash flow and immediate financial burdens.
A new in-home experience is here. All your services bundled into one simple plan. Faster, more reliable Wi-Fi so that you can binge, play, and stream uninterrupted. Unlimited flow local landline minutes mean you can talk and talk and talk. plus the best in TV entertainment with over 120 channels and 29 in HD, all for $160 a month with the new all-in bundle. With Flow, it only gets better.
Avec Flow, gagnez l'argent, on partit l'argent avec Flow. Gagnez l'argent, on gros sac l'argent. C'est juste ça pour gagner un gros sac l'argent avec Flow. And mettez on top up, sign up, quittez yo, et venez joindre Flow. It only gets better with Flow.
Flow terms and conditions apply.
Here are some tips to reduce mosquito presence in and around your home. Keep water storage containers properly covered. Remove containers that can collect water from your surroundings. Keep garbage bins tightly covered. Pick up your litter and remove all tires from your yard. Keep gutters free of leaves and twigs to prevent stagnant water. Prevent Zika, dengue, and chikungunya. Fight the bite. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
This message is supported by Flow.
Flow helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 700 local anywhere calls and texts with the always-on prepaid plan, all for $29. Keep your number when you switch to Dominica's most reliable LTE network. Buy wherever you top up. Switch to Flow. It only gets better.
Giving away $30,000 in cash, 2 bags of money plus $1,000 every Friday.
With Flow is better every day, and now we're making parties great. That's 3 ways that you can play. So listen up.
Top up.
$10 or more.
Sign up.
Just switch to Flow.
Get a plan.
1 gig or more. If you want to win cash galore.
With Flow.
Win a bag of money.
Cash out.
Get a bag of money. What you gonna do with a bag of money? From Flow.
So top up, get a plan, or switch now to win. It only gets better with Flow.
Flow terms and conditions apply.
To end the news, a look again at the headlines. Banks within the ECCU defer loan payments to support clients impacted by the coronavirus pandemic. National epidemiologist Dr. Shaladdin Ahmed says strategies to contain COVID-19 are paying off, but protocols must be maintained. And a slow recovery from COVID-19 predicted for the tourism sector. You may access our past newscasts on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the production team, I am Julian Morris. Thank you for watching. Join us tomorrow.